Welcome, everybody. If you're here for the 1 p.m. Eastern time or whatever time zone that you're in, session on workflows in Method, specifically session two, dealing with how to build and send quotes faster. You see this stock image man on the screen who's very happy, probably happy because he's sending out quotes quickly and getting paid just as quickly. That's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to give it a couple of minutes for people to trickle in, but we'll kick off with introductions. I'm your host, Mattis, and I am joined by Errol, who is the senior product specialist at Method. He's been at it for a while. He's done thousands of builds and customizations, knows the platform inside and out, figures out all of our technical documentation. What am I missing, Errol?
Uh, just I'm a troll. I don't know. No, I'm good. It's all good. Maybe actually I think I have the word education in there somewhere. I didn't choose that title, but I think, that's the main point is that I'm supposed to educate people on the product.
And that's what we're here for.
Hmm.
So, for those of you who are new to Method, which some of you we know are, a quick introduction.
Sorry, I just read the chat.
Yes,
Just quickly
yeah,
popped up.
exactly. Yes, that the one and only Errol, correct.
Mm.
So you're seeing him live. But a quick introduction on Method for those of you who are new. It's a customizable CRM that sits on top of QuickBooks. We're super proud of our two-way instant sync with QuickBooks. It sends over all of the core information, every single field that is relevant to you syncs over, and you can control that sync in case you don't want to sync something over. And it also has extreme flexibility in terms of the types of custom workflows that you can build in the platform. So that's what we'll be looking at today. If we keep moving along here, the focus of this session, as I've already mentioned, is around quotes. And the problems that we're dealing with here is, as a lot of us know, you have quotes and conversations happening with customers, but they're kind of happening in a lot of different places. And by the time you're actually sending out either updates to invoices or estimates or project scope additions, things are getting lost all along the cracks. So we actually have a customer that we recently spoke with in depth, a company called Top Stitch Canvas. They're a custom upholstery manufacturer and installer, and you can find their case study on our website. One of the really, really interesting things about this company is that they were spending up to an entire day every single week reconciling the different project steps of everything that was in flux. So you can think about somebody receiving a quote and things change. The person in the field says one thing, there's a note with the dispatcher about a different thing, and they're spending literally a single day every week to get all of the projects up to date. After working with Method, they resolve that problem and everything goes really, really quickly and really smoothly because it's a fully integrated system. So I'm not going to go through everything here. You can go check out the case study on the website. But the point is that the process from estimate to actual invoice and payment is fully connected. So you're no longer juggling these multiple pieces of paper or multiple instances of project tracking. So our focus for today, if we flip over to the agenda, figuring out how to create and send those proposals in Method, what happens when clients accept proposals and how that works with e-signatures, and then also how to actually invoice and collect payments. And then finally, we'll show you a little bit of what a customization can look like that takes you to the next level. So you can actually look at your margins and report both on individual estimates, but then on entire projects and figure out how to track the costs and profits there. So with that, Errol, we'll throw it over to you.
Thank you so much, Mattis. Now I'm going to go over to my Method account, and I also want to show you that I have a QuickBooks account open as well. I only have one person in here, but that's okay. I'm not very popular. Now, if you were here last week, you know that we covered the estimate workflow. And if you also check out our many other webinars that we have a complete estimate to invoice to portal payment workflow as well. So I highly suggest you take a look at those other webinars that we have. We kind of hinted at it last week when we just did just the estimate and lead to estimate workflow. But right now, what I'm going to focus on is we are going to take a look at a completely different app, and it's called Proposals. And what proposals are going to do for you, it's a way, it's usually done for clients that are at the bottom of the funnel. And so less at the top where you're trying to figure out things, whether or not they want to buy something from you, but it's more now you're going to send a contract out and they're going to review the contract and they're going to wonder, hey, this looks great. And then they'll sign it. And then life just starts with that person. And so we're going to go and take a look at this particular workflow. I will show you other parts of the software, for example, other parts of the platform. So you will see everything being created as well as transactions, and then it syncing over to QuickBooks. And now I'm just like talking when there's like a blank screen, and that's very boring. So let's go ahead and get started with this. We're going to go over to our customers and leads. And again, if you have any questions, because I am kind of assuming you were here last week or you're familiar with Method. But if you aren't, by all means, you can interrupt me. Mattis can interrupt me at any point in time and say, "Hey, Errol, can you expand a bit more on that?" Then by all means, please do that. But right now, what I'm going to go into is I'm going to open up one of our clients. Her name is Amy Ford of Sanford Company Art Gallery, and that's the one right here, Sanford Company Art Gallery. And we are going to create a proposal for her. So normally what would happen is that I would get a phone call from her and I would usually keep track of all of these things. So I would keep some track within an activity and I would keep track of the back and forth that I would have her. That's usually because we are a customer relationship management software. Best practice is to keep track of every type of interaction that you are doing with your client. And then once you're done, we're going to go and create a proposal. So I'm not going to do all that now because I did time this, but I'm still worried we didn't time the end of Mattis's presentation. So I don't want to spend too much time just, talking like I do and not realizing what I'm doing. So here I am. I'm creating the brand new proposal. Now, there are a couple of things about the proposal that you can set up from the get-go. First off, just to let you know, the proposal is a different package that you can subscribe to. You will already have it in your account if you just signed up. And this is all out of the box. So when Mattis brings up his demonstration, and also when you saw the what was that company that we just talked about? Twitch something? I just was there just like 3 minutes ago. Anyway, those were all customized. So we have our normal out of the box products, and then you can customize them further to fit your industry. So everything right here is out of the box and no customization is needed to get it running. So I have our customer here. We'll put in a proposal name, proposal of today. I don't know what to, oh, today's the 26th of May. Okay, that's good. That's a horrible name, but that's okay. And then we have it assigned to myself. I'm the one that's signed in at the moment. We have our terms for billing and 30 days. We want them to pay for things. And then there's a couple of other things you can see here. We can have the proposal automatically expires at a particular date. I maybe it'll do it in 30 days, but that's okay. I'm not going to do that. And you also can have it recurring. So if this is a contract that will continue and you want them to repeat every month, that is something that you can also set up as well. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to actually like generate all these invoices that will occur every month. But right now, that's what would happen if you would set it to recurring. So it's pretty flexible there. You can also set things. When does the first billing start on the day they accepted it, or you can have it start today. It all depends. But all of this is available to you when sending out this proposal to this person. I'm going to click what we have right now. I'm going to save and next and continue. This is where we will put in which services that they may want. Right now, I'm going to be like, I'm going to do some QuickBooks training and setting up of QuickBooks for this person. So we're going to have some QuickBooks stuff, and we will also have some accounting services. We have a different billing type here. Again, this is the one where you can set to, oh, look, we have when completed or when accepted. You can choose when you're going to actually bill it out. There would actually be another one if I did set this to recurring, and that would be For example, let's say you would do this at the end of the month, like the accounting services, then you would have a billing type of recurring, and then that would reoccur. Well, you know what I mean. It will just repeat every month. I don't know my words today. So next up, we have our engagement letter sample. So in other words, this is the contract that they would see. This is obviously a sample that comes straight out of Method. If need be, you can edit that template to make it fit your industry better. Right now, you can go in and just click Edit Template and then add in whatever you want. You can even edit like this. If you were to edit the template here, that would edit the base template. But if you just want to make edits just to this particular one, you can just click that edit button that I just did. And then, I want to be less formal. Hello, proposal contacts name, right? And then I can just preview that. Anyway, you can change all of that there. So this only affects this particular contract. But again, if I wanted to change it for everybody, I can actually change the engagement letter template itself. Anyway, let's see what I have here. If I go through, I have a lot of text that I never read when I read these things. Well, I should. I should read contracts. And then we have the costs here as well. If I were to go save and next part here is finalizing this proposal. It will show you the final cost, the start and end date, and then just a quick message. Thank you for contacting us, as well as any attachments that you want to add to this. Again, this is off of a proposal contact notification, sorry, an email template, which you can choose. Now, you might be thinking, why is there only one? And it's because this is a brand new install. If you want to make your own, by all means, you can go into the email templates and create those. But right now, we're going to take everything straight out of the box. And then we're going to preview and send this. This is what the email is going to look like. And they can review their proposal, and I'll click OK. Now, they will get this email. So I'm going to pretend to be Amy Ford right now. But before I do that, let's take a look at the final screen. Sorry. So we can see that this proposal is sent. And we'll also have a number of other types of analytics that will show here. Have they looked at it, for example, or when did they last look at it? We can change the expiry date. I didn't set one, and so I'm not going to set one. And that's pretty much it. This is pretty much everything that we have set as we went through that wizard of setting the proposal up. Now, once this is done, again, we're going to go. Now I'm going to be Amy currently here. And let me go and see. Hey, where's my email? I'll just wait. There it is. Huzzah. Okay, so here is the email. The proposal is ready. Once again, I am Amy, the client, and I am looking at this email. And I can't remember if I showed you last week that this will give you an email that takes you to a client customer portal for your clients. So if I view and accept this, this takes me to my private portal for the client, Amy's private portal, where she'll be able to view and accept this proposal. So she is also able to do a lot of other things. You can have recent transactions, and I can show you that later. But let's go and accept this particular proposal. We can see when it starts. We can see the services that they are providing. Again, this is all from the products and services that you selected in the proposal itself. Click on next, and we can see when the charges are going to be, basically when it's accepted and how much it's going to cost. And then finally, we have the final terms and services, that really long thing that I'm not going to read. I'm going to accept the terms and payment services, and then I can add in my e-signature. This is like my favorite part because this is where I get to draw, and then I can see how well am I going to draw the rabbit today. I don't know, but that's not too bad. I really should take out my pen and do that properly. Anyway, there we go. I finished my little e-rabbit, and then I'm going to hit accept, e-signature, not e-rabbit, and I will be done. It will eventually say accepted. Come on. Yay. Oh, no, wait, right. We're going to pay for this particular pay and sign. Huzzah. I've already saved my card for this, so I'm going to go ahead and hit next, and then it'll process the payment. So there you go. I sent out the proposal, and then once they accept it, they will pay for it right there. Now, of course, they could reject it. There was that reject button, but I'm not going to do that. Hey, why did that come up? Oh, wait. Oh, darn it. I thought I put my phone number in there. What on earth happened? I'm sorry. I did. I practiced this morning and I don't know why I had to. Anyway, I think that has something to do with, that actually might have something to do with the customization I did on this. Haha, that might actually be. Sorry, just to let you know, for all demo accounts, payments don't go through. And so I actually have to customize the screen so that a payment can go through for a demo account. So maybe that's why that came up. Anyway, I think let's see if I can accept this again because I just did this morning. Why aren't you working for me? Wait, or maybe it did go through. Let's go ahead and see. Let's go over here and let me just reload the screen. Bum, 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 and see if my payment went through. Okay, no, it went through. There you go. Ta-da! There you go. So I have, I think, yeah. See, there you go. I told you I customized the screen, and now things went in twice. I think that's what happened here. In other words, this is my failure of a customization for demo accounts. Anyway, so what we have over here, you'll see that the proposal is complete, that it is an active engagement. In other words, the proposal was accepted. We will see over here that it's not recurring, that we have the invoices that was assigned to it, and then we have the invoice and the payment there. Now, I made a mistake because now it's came in twice, although it shouldn't have come in twice, but it came in twice. But that was my customization. I did incorrectly. Sorry, just to let you know, you're not supposed to customize it. Out of the box, it should work perfectly. But as I said before, because I need to bypass our demo accounts, that's why it did that. So as you can see here, we can ignore this. We have the invoice that was part of the actual proposal, and then we have the payment, and all of that at the end of it automatically synced, as you can see here within my QuickBooks account. And I'm just going to delete this because I don't want everybody to see my failure. Okay, there we go. Haha, now you don't know that it happened. It's all gone. And of course, since I deleted here, it actually will sync over to QuickBooks fine. Anyway, and so that is a very brief overview on how proposals works within the platform. And again, just to let you know, if you didn't recall from, actually didn't show the portal last week, but every client, as long as they have an email, has a customer portal, which they can log into, and they can, as you are aware, make any kind of changes to their customer portal, to their actual information in the portal. So, maybe this isn't their phone number. Maybe they want to update their emails, but these are all correct. So I'm not going to update anything. And they can also view any of the recent transactions. But as you can see, they can also see the actual proposal that they just signed and that it is currently active. And they can even view the signed report that they actually e-sigged. There you go. And there's my rabbit. Huzzah. Amazing. And so there you go. That is a brief overview of the Proposals app. There are a lot of other ways that you can take a quote to cash, and this is just one of them. But as I said before, that again, this is more closer to the bottom of the funnel once they are more of maybe either someone that's already a customer or someone that is really interested in actually becoming interested in your services. And so, depending on where they are in that funnel, there would be different workflows. Right now, as you saw, I just chose a person that was already one of my customers, but it's going to be slightly different, for example, if you were to choose the lead, but not that much. So, the when they are a lead, they haven't synced over to QuickBooks yet, but once they accept the proposal, then everything will happily sync over as well. So the workflow is pretty much the same. And anyway, there you go. I think I'm done, Mattis. I hope that
Thank
made
you.
sense. And if anybody had any questions throughout there, by all means, I can touch on that. But
We
we can go on to you.
really appreciate the presentation, Errol. Before we move on, we did have some questions. I think some
Hmm.
really good questions. So actually, Eugen asked, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, whether you can kind of continue the conversation with someone after you've sent the proposal inside of the email chain. And then as a follow-up and a clarification, they mentioned when they're dealing with clients, they may not actually want the person who they're discussing with to be the person who is seeing the final quote, signing the invoice, taking care of the payment. That's probably somebody else, I'm assuming, in a different department, somebody in accounts payable, all of that. So I think this is a little bit related to the customer portal management and what kind of access which contact in an account has. But Errol, I'll leave it to you to explain because ultimately you can have multiple contacts per an account. So presumably one of the contacts would be a billing contact who actually goes and pays the invoices, and another contact would be somebody who doesn't get to do that and doesn't see the portal.
This is true, and this is these are very good questions. Now, I don't think I can resend actually, maybe I can. What happens if I resend the email? Oh, great, great. So I'm just going to resend this proposal again, just to show that you do have the ability to edit these details. And one of the things you can do is change whom it is being sent to. So right now, it is being sent to the only other contact attached to Amy Ford, which is her. However, at the same time, let me go and add different contacts to Amy Ford. So I can have, getting back to that original question about, hey, what if it's just someone else? I can add other people. Let me go over here and wait, wrong place. There it is, other contacts I can't read. Let's add a new person to Sanford Company Art Gallery. And let's say this person's name is, I don't know, this person's name is Mattis. Mattis, there you go. And their email is, that is not a real email, but that's okay. We're going to hit save. And now I have this person named Mattis that also works at Sanford Company Art Gallery. If I go back to my proposal and assuming that I'm going to send out this as well, you will see that I can change who it's being sent to as soon as I edit details there. And I can also change who is, hey, wait a minute, where is he? Oh, add, blah, 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 blah. Let me see, where is it? There we are. I can send it to Mattis as well. And then I can remove Amy. She doesn't want to get anything. Why aren't you being removed? Oh, wait, did I accidentally remove this? Hold on. Why aren't we working here? Boop, 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 boop. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm all confused. Anyway, so that is there in order so that you can choose it. And also you can set to who has a billing address. I might not have actually said who has who gets billing emails and who doesn't get billing emails. And so you can also set things like that up for them as well. I think it was Yugen, hopefully again we are pronouncing your correct name correctly, asked what would happen if you want to have that back and forth with your clients as well. And here I am within the proposals app, and you will see that all of the activities are here still. Everything associated with this proposal is in the app ribbons along the side. So you can see that I have a lot of like, oh, look, I've got all these email outgoings that I've been sending off to Amy Ford. But if need be, if I wanted to create a new activity, because I am having this back and forth with Amy, I can definitely put that here and attach it to this proposal in case, for example, she rejects me. And I know what that feels like and it's hurtful, right? And then I can, maybe edit or reject this proposal. There's a way to change the status so that it's rejected. And then maybe if need be, I can duplicate it and make a better proposal for her if need be. Hopefully those answered your
Thanks, Errol.
questions, but those are great questions. Yes.
A couple more that we had come in, and I'll jump around here a little bit just to tackle some of the easier ones first, maybe. Somebody wants to know whether, if you're having a conversation with somebody, do you have to go through this entire workflow, or could you just export a proposal or an estimate and just send it to them directly like an attachment?
Oh, so don't even use proposals? Sorry, is that what you're asking?
I think
Uh,
the idea would be to have the proposal inside method. And maybe this was from Peter, maybe you could clarify a little bit. You would have it in method, but maybe for your workflow, you actually want to work in your email account. So could you
oh, okay.
just do it directly from the email? Right, or just link to the proposal from your email chain instead of having to send this process because maybe you don't want to be working for this build inside of the CRM. For you, it's just more efficient to be in your email inbox. So can I just send a link to the proposal?
So yeah, yes. So I would say that the the link to the proposal will actually be within their client portal, and every person does have, for example, a link to it. So if I were to open up Amy Ford, for example, they will have a portal link that you could send to them. What happens if I click it? Let's see what happens if I click it. I think, do I have too many sessions open? No, this will actually take me here. Now they will actually get a login. I've turned that off so I don't have to constantly log in as Amy Ford. I've made some, I've, supposed to do that, but because for demo purposes, I've turned off the ability to, authorize who you are. But these are all just demo accounts. And there they would be actually be able to see their service agreement and take a look at it there. So you can just send that particular link as well. So hopefully that makes sense. That was a great question.
Thank you, Errol. And just a couple of more before we move on. So Dave actually wanted to understand a little bit more, and a couple of people actually pointed out that, there's this estimates workflow and there's a proposals workflow. Is it based on some specific use case that one should use one or the other? Do we have a recommendation? Is it based on what your unique preference is? And I can suggest that at least the way that I see companies use proposals versus estimates is proposals really have more of that conversational flow. You're really outlining a lot of items, and maybe you need to send a lot of terms. Maybe your engagement letters need to be very specific. You're perhaps in some kind of a regulated industry. Versus if you just want to send single page or very short estimates that have line items and like, here's your price, here's the items. Maybe you don't need to do this entire engagement letter workflow and you can just use estimates. That's the way that I typically see it divided, but Errol, you may have seen other scenarios as well.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much that. Again, if you just want to send out an estimate and you don't want it to be as complicated as Matt has said, there are those workflows. I mean, another complication that we have within Method, not complication, but we try to handle a lot of different workflows and processes that people have, is that we also have opportunities. And opportunities is something else that keeps track of a sale and having that sale come to a close. And so an opportunity is yet another way to have a bunch of activities, just encapsulates an actual relationship and communication between you and a client as you're trying to bring that to a close. And that again, this is more top of funnel where a person doesn't even know if they want the business or if they don't want to buy from you, and they're maybe even being a lead. And again, the proposals now is more closer to the bottom of the funnel where they are interested in your services, and now you're kind of like working out that whole deal. And again, there is a lot of overlap, and so I understand why there is that confusion. It's like, oh wait, what if I don't want to use either and I just want to send out an estimate? Then by all means, yes, you can just send out that estimate straight from here. And again, I think I covered that a little bit last week. If you weren't here last week, I do apologize. I think we do have a recording of that. But that's where we actually just took a lead, and then even from our emails, we just added in that estimate and sent it out to Paige, her name was, but to Amy, and then they'd be able to log into their account and be able to see the estimate there, and they would have been able to accept that estimate. And then if we converted to the invoice, they'd have been able to pay for it all within here as well. I actually don't think this person
So
has that.
thank you, Errol. So people were asking, there's a link to the recording. 100%. I think we have Michelle in the chat who can post the link to the last week recording. We'll also include it in the follow-up email after this. One last question, Errol, before we move on to the closing section around some of the more advanced stuff, because we basically have a minute left, so I'm going to sort of speed
Oh, I'm
through
so
this.
sorry.
All good, really good questions from folks. So thank you for sending those in. One last question. Does somebody need to accept payment right away if they want to accept a proposal? Or could you send a proposal that doesn't require you to pay?
Oh, I think that's a great question. Now, again, I think in this particular case, the proposals is automatically set up like that, and I can go over to my preferences, and there you go. So under preferences, we have require payment to accept proposal. This is a great question. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. I did. This is, I think, automatically turned on, but if you don't want to require that payment, you can turn that off, and then it won't require that. So that's a Wonderful question. I was going to go over preferences and then I got distracted by your great questions. I'm not saying don't ask questions. So I'm just easily distracted. But I was going
Thank
to
you,
go to the
Earl.
preferences next. So thank you so
So
much.
it's really informative. So we are at time. If folks have a couple of minutes, we're just going to go over what you can do as a kind of next step if you want to go even further with how you deal with estimates, proposals, all kinds of workflows. So this is an example from an account that is customized. So somebody came into Method, they had more robust needs than what a cookie cutter setup would look like because they actually quote on very long multi-month, sometimes multi-year projects, and those projects involve multiple items, subcontractors, multiple steps. There's a lot of negotiation, long sales cycle. And so what they've actually done is built out an estimation tool that allows the person who's creating the estimate to prepare these proposal calculations. So you can kind of see this on your right-hand side, the internal list of proposal calculations, where you have walls as bid items, and you have three kind of bid items and their price points here. And a person can search a library of items and add these. These are, again, all internal for them to refer to. And then they get added to and converted into lump sums on the actual customer quote. So you see walls, there's the 6,820, which you can check the math yourself if you want, is calculated from that price point in the internal. And that is what is actually being shown to the customer because the customer doesn't necessarily need to see the, cost estimate and obviously the price markup and what the difference more along the margins are and what the different formulations are. That's really for internal use. The customer gets the full scope of the work and then line items the way that this company wants to present to them. So that's a more customizable workflow you can implement with the platform. And then this is just an individual estimate. But if we flip to the next section, you can actually build out entire job reporting on not just one estimate, but maybe a multi-estimate project and check what your initial cost projections were based on the things that were committed to in that calculation, what the contract amount was that was signed, how much of the work has actually been completed if you're tracking your jobs through Method, what your margin is, and then even how this splits out against subcontractors, as you can kind of see in the bottom here. So this is a much more customized solution, but it's something that is possible once you have that baseline integration between Method and QuickBooks and all of your baseline information flowing into the platform. And really, the sky is the limit. So we just wanted to show a little bit of what the next step would look like, depending on what your business is like. And it doesn't have to be this; it could be something completely different. Just trying to convey the fact that it's possible. And so, with that said, we're gonna turn to close and launch a quick poll for folks to answer. And the poll really is very simple. Would you like to learn more about Method? Should somebody maybe get in touch with you or send you more information? Are there specific questions? So while folks answer that question, we're going to move on to the close. If you want to learn more, a couple of ways to do that. We are on Reddit. There's a community staffed by Method experts, Method customers, both internal experts and then people who work as consultants externally and help tons of companies customize their platforms. Very, very knowledgeable. So you can check out the community there. And then also you can interact with us directly. So you could start a trial if you haven't yet and get 25% off for the first 3 months if you bring on 3 or more team members. If you have questions, our team would love to chat with you. You can book a demo with one of our specialists, get set up. Maybe you need some help connecting things the way you want them to be connected. Maybe you have questions about specific customizations and your specific scenarios. Happy to chat. And then also, if you are ready to talk to somebody who would customize the platform for you more in depth, you can reach out to us and talk to somebody from there as well. So with that said, our next session next week, I heard somebody asking about the Jobs app. That's what our next session is about. It's really about managing jobs in general. What are the different ways that you can do it? Which apps to use? What do the workflows look like? So join us next Tuesday. We'd love to have you there. If you can't make it, then we will also be sending you a recording afterwards. And so if there's any other questions, let me check. David was asking if we work with Sage Accounting in the Q&A box. No, we do not work with Sage. Just QuickBooks and Xero are the core integrations. Any other questions? We will be sending a link to this recording as well. Okay, so I think that about covers it for the day. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you so much, Errol, for your expertise and sharing the insights. And we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.